Welcome to another Genshin Impact video. Today I'm once again on my free-to-play auto account to showcase Veresa, who I've already showcased several times in the past. I think she's actually the most showcased character in this account, because first it was the Veresa showcase when she originally released, and then I used her again in my Janssen showcase, and then I used her when I got constellations for Janssen, especially the C6, and another showcase I did when I farmed Veresa's personal artifact set. So yeah, I'm showcasing Veresa a lot, but it's time to do it again, because now I actually got her signature weapon, which is not the Widsith, is actually this one here, Vivid Notions, which I wrote for on Christmas Eve, and I actually managed to get it. I also got Xilonen's signature weapon, but that's gonna be a topic for another video. In this one, we're just gonna focus on Veresa and see how much of a difference it actually makes. And I haven't equipped it yet, because I do wanna make this a comparison video, where I first use the Widsith at R5, and then I switch her to the new weapon, so we can compare the damage before and after. But yeah, let's first take a look at my Veresa build. Currently she has 1600 attack, a bit of elemental mastery, and she has 81 crit rate with 196 crit damage and 133 energy recharge, and of course a bit of electro damage bonus. Weapon I already showed, we can skip that. So let's go straight to the artifacts, where I'm of course using her signature set, the Long Night's Oath. It's literally made for her, it's the best set. And of course I focused on crit mainly, but also try to get a bit of energy recharge and attack. And I use an attack sense, which is actually the off piece here, an electro damage bonus goblet, and a crit rate circlet. Constellation is 0 and the talents are all at level 9. And with that build, my Veresa has actually been really good already. She's an incredible character. One of the best DPS in the game. And definitely top 3 here on my free-to-play account. And you know, because I use her that much and like her this much, I thought it was worth it going for her signature weapon. But yeah, I do have a Widsith at R5, which is also a really good weapon. But actually, until my rolls for Vivid Notions, the Widsith was actually only at R3. But it is one of the Forster weapons featured on the current weapon banner, so I managed to get one copy, and I actually had another copy of it just lying around in my inventory for who knows how long. I don't know when I got it, but it must have been there for a while. I realized that when I went to upgrade it from R3 to R4, and I was like, wait a minute, I have 2 of those, even though I only got 1 when I was rolling for Vivid Notions. But yeah, now it's R5, and immediately after getting it there, it's gonna get replaced. But yeah, the Widsith actually has a bit more crit damage than Vivid Notions. As you can see, 44, 55, so actually 11 more crit damage. So my crit damage is going to be a bit lower with the new weapon. But in exchange for that, I get a lot more base attack. I mean, 510 here and then 674 here. That's a huge difference. And we get some additional attack here in the passive, and of course a bunch of crit damage for plunging attacks in the passive. Now Widsith's passive is also pretty good. I mean, 120% attack, that's really not bad. 96 elemental damage, also not bad. Same for the 480 elemental mastery. But what I really don't like about the Widsith is the randomness, because you only ever get 1 of these 3 effects, and for example the elemental mastery is not really worth that much for Veresa unless you play in like an aggravate team, which you usually don't. And even with aggravate, I think the attack and element damage would still be better probably. And the other huge problem with Widsith is that the effect lasts for 10 seconds but has a 30-second cooldown. So 20 seconds of downtime. So while it is definitely a very good weapon, it is also pretty inconsistent. And I actually think that if you get like the attack buff or the elemental damage buff, then we might even see occasionally a higher number than we will with Vivid Notions. I'm not sure about that. That might be the case, because this buff is kind of insane. But like overall, if we look at the whole rotation or several rotations, the damage is definitely going to be a lot higher with her signature weapon, of course. I mean, it is her best weapon, definitely. But yeah, let's just go ahead now and find out how much better it's actually gonna be. And yeah, the team I'm using for this is gonna be this one here with Xilonen, Xianyun, Janssen, all supporting Veresa, who's gonna do the bulk of the damage. She also works really well in Overload, so we could try that later on. A team like this, just with Veresa instead of Alekino, for example, and maybe Janssen instead of Fischl. But first, I wanna try this team. So let's go ahead and go over to Inazuma, to Masanori, my usual test subject, and first to a R5 Widsith Showcase. So the setup is pretty simple. We apply Electro to activate the Cinder City buff, then use Xianyun like this, and then Janssen And now we should do huge damage. Actually, which buff did we get from the Widsith here? Let's check. That's the elemental damage bonus buff for sure. 96% here for every element. So 182 on Electro right now. So how much is he gonna do with this buff? Let's see. Yeah, you can see Masanori is taking huge damage. We're doing 167k damage there, if I saw that correctly. And 105. He's still in his first HP bar because he got locked into animations. But yeah, we saw some over 100k hits there. I think the highest one I saw was 167k. So yeah, needless to say, she does really good damage even without her signature weapon. That's Veresa for you. Just such a good DPS. Let's wait a bit for the Widsith cooldown to end. And then try another rotation. Okay, I think we've waited long enough now. So let's do this again. Don't have Chanyun's burst. Come on. There we go. Like this, and I didn't check which buff he got, but he died too fast anyway. But okay, this time was the Elemental Mastery buff, which doesn't do much for us. So there we already have the problem with the Widsith, like I explained in the beginning. In this rotation, if I had done the full rotation here, if he hadn't died so fast, we would have definitely seen lower damage than before. We wouldn't have reached the 167k again, because we got the wrong buff. But you can also see that she has a lot more attack than before, because she has one passive that actually does increase her attack. I think it's this one. Yeah, when other characters trigger Night Soul Burst. So she can reach almost 2000 here even without her signature weapon. But with Vivid Notions, she should actually be over 2000 even without that passive active. Though I should probably really go to Kongamato in Natlan, my other usual test subject, because Masanori is just really not strong enough for this. He dies so fast against Veresa. So yeah, let's go there. I should have gone there right away. I already knew Veresa was too much for Masanori, but I'm just used to starting these showcases at Masanori always. Anyway, let's do one more fight here with the Widsith, just to see if we can maybe get the attack buff and see how much damage that does. So we do this, then this. And then, what buff do we actually have? I think it's attack. Yeah, over 3000 attack now. That's a lot. And we are doing pretty good damage. I think it's 170k, 168k there. So it's actually a little bit higher, I think, than the elemental damage bonus buff. And yeah, within just one rotation, he is almost dead. And this guy has like 1.6 million HP. He's one of the tankiest bosses in this game, which is why I'm using him for these showcases. But yeah, now it's actually time to finally switch the weapon and see how much more damage is my Veresa gonna do with her signature, the Vivid Notions. Let's go. And first, let's check her attack now. Yeah, over 2000. That's what I was expecting. Over 2100, actually. Almost 2200 attack. That's definitely a lot more than before. But we do have a little bit less crit damage now. It's still pretty good though. 185 is really not bad. And we are gonna get a lot more crit damage on our plunging attacks from the weapon passive. So yeah, let's just go and try it out right away. And I don't have to worry about waiting for any cooldowns now. I can just go in whenever and the weapon will be ready. So we do this first, then this. Use Xianyun, Yansan, and Veresa. Let's see. I'm not seeing numbers. I think we didn't get a crit there. 128, 181. I saw an 181k there. Okay, that's actually more than with the Widsith. That is more. Okay, good. So not only is the weapon way more consistent, has way higher uptime, but it also is just more damage on every single hit. Amazing. Okay, so far so good, but I think I actually missed a bunch of big crits there, because I didn't see the 180 until the end. So let's go back in and do this again and try to actually now kill him as fast as possible. So, first apply Electro, Xilonen stuff, Xianyun, Yansan, like this, and then we go with the rest. Was it over 200k there? 196k? Oh my god, this is so much damage. I think I saw it over 200k at one point. And yeah, he's pretty much dead in just one simple rotation. There we go. That was really fast. That was before Jansen's burst came back up. I think it came back up like 1 second after the battle was finished. So if we take a look here at her burst cooldown, 18 seconds. So we did in like maybe 16, 17 seconds, 1.6 million damage in that short of a time. That is pretty good. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw over 200k damage there at one point. Not sure if I saw that correctly, but I definitely saw 196k, which, yeah, needless to say, that is definitely more than the Widsith. So, if there ever was any question about whether the Widsith could keep up with the signature weapon, I mean, there wasn't really. But yeah, that is definitive proof that even if the Widsith had full uptime and not such a huge cooldown, it would still not be better than VARESA'S signature weapon. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be, right? Otherwise, there would be no point in rolling for signature weapons. But I thought it was still worth testing because the Widsith buffs are actually pretty big. Now, like I said before, one other team that I really like playing Veresa in is Overload with Chefrus. Where is she? Right here. And until recently, I probably would have put Bennett or Xiangling in there as the 4th team member, but now I'm gonna go Durin. My Durin is C1, but even at C0 he can actually rival Bennett. I tested that, but yeah, this team should also do huge damage. So yeah, let's just teleport away so that Kongamato can revive and then see what Overload Veresa can do with her signature weapon. Okay, let's just do this and this. Get Durin's Burst. Veresa, activate. Oh yeah, I'm already seeing huge damage. 180k, 200k. I definitely saw over 200k there. And he's dead. Oh my god, that was even faster than the other team. That is kinda insane. We only needed to do the Veresa combo of like this, then this again. Okay, I don't have the skill cooldown, but you know, like the 2 skills, mini burst at the end, we only needed to do that 2 times. Compared to the like 2.5, 3 times we needed with the other team. And then Kogamato was already dead. And I definitely saw a bunch of 200k plunge attacks there from Veresa. Oh my god. This is actually so good. And so much fun. I just love Overload. I think Chefrus is actually one of the best additions they've ever made to this game. Because Overload teams are just some of the most fun teams ever. And without Chefrus, they would just not be viable. But nowadays we have so many awesome options for Overload teams with Chefrus. And I just can't get enough of playing Overload teams. Whether it is with Alekino as my main TPS, or Veresa, or, you know, Yoimir on my main account, for example. It's just always so fun. But yeah, that's already it for this showcase. Or is it? Because there's actually one more thing I wanna do, and that is crown Veresa. She definitely deserves it. She's one of my most used characters on this account. And yeah, all her talents are at level 9, but I do have enough materials to actually get 2 of them to level 10. And I think the 2 that I should level up are the burst and the normal attacks. The skill does the least damage here, yeah. So we definitely wanna upgrade this for the plunge attack here. And this for the mini burst. So yeah, let's do this. First the burst, which is gonna go up from 684% to 724%, so an increase of 40%. That's actually not bad. There we go. And then the normal attacks, and here we have an increase for 10% from 137 to 147 on the Fiery Passion plunge attack. And I think the charge attack actually is also important, so let's do this as well. And now I have a double crowned Veresa. And someday I will triple crown her, it's just that I don't have the materials for it right now. But yeah, let's actually do one more battle now, fight Kongamato one more time, and just see how much it changes now that she is double crowned. Probably not that much, but it's definitely gonna be an increase in damage, for sure. So I think the highest damage I saw previously with the Overload team was 206,000. So let's see if you can get like over 210,000 now, maybe. 189k there. I think there was a 200,000. I didn't see the exact number. And that didn't crit. Come on. I'm just gonna teleport away immediately. He died there anyway. So let's do this again. It's sometimes really hard to see the damage numbers in these showcases because of how fast everything goes, especially when the team is so good and there's just so much happening and just so many big damage numbers all over the place. But I'm pretty sure there was a pretty big 200k hit. But how much exactly over 200k, I'm not sure. So yeah, let's just do this again. Oh, 221k, 218k. Yeah, I can definitely see higher damage now than before. 209k, 185. Okay, we're losing some of the buffs. He's already dead. Yeah, that was an even faster kill than before. And I think I saw a 220k there at one point, which is definitely an improvement over what we saw before. Not by a lot, you know, it doesn't matter much. It was like 1 second faster the clear, maybe 2 seconds. But the crowns are definitely making a bit of a difference at least. But yeah, overall I would say Varesa is definitely now my strongest DPS on this account. I don't think anyone else is keeping up with that kind of damage. I don't think any of my other DPSs can kill Kongamato that fast. I mean, there are some that come close. You know, Nuvelet, Alikino, they're also pretty good. Even Ayaka and Wanderer can do it pretty fast with the teams and weapons I have currently, since I've invested a lot into them as well. But yeah, Varesa is for sure the strongest now. And I think with her signature weapon now, and C1 Durin, and C6 Jeffrus, she's also pretty future-proof. I think she's gonna stay good for years to come. I don't think she's gonna get power crept anytime soon. So I'll be safe for most of the endgame content as well. At least for Abyss and Imaginary Theater. Stygian Onslaught, you know, it depends. Some of the bosses there kinda have really stupid mechanics, so that if you don't have the shield characters, you're just screwed. But well, Stygian Onslaught is not really a consideration for me when it comes to like how strong a character is. I don't consider that an indicator for anything. Stygian Onslaught is just an exception. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Genshin Impact and other gacha content. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.